For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in at thescribbleshow.com and on SoundCloud and iTunes. Happy, let me look here, January 19th, 2018. Wow, we made it. We made it. Just a couple of days until it's the one-year anniversary of Donald Trump being President of the United States. As a Canadian, I love saying that. I really do. I really, 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 really do. You know, back when the election, the campaign, I guess, was happening, Canadians were watching from a distance going, there's no way Americans would have him as the president. No way. And I think even most Americans were saying that too, let's be honest. Most Americans were. And on election night, being a Canadian, I'm not sure if I've mentioned that yet, I am a Canadian, I was I watching CNN? Was I watching NBC? I don't know. Matt Lauer was hot. No, he wasn't hosting it, though. Anyway, I remember watching, and, you know, everybody, the projections, right, the polls, the forecasting, everything had said that Hillary was going to win, and then you're watching it play out, and there's just this, like, giggle that I had. I remember was I at home? I just remember kind of laughing, going, this is too good. This shit is too good. You can't make this up. And when you think about it, in all honesty, do you remember where you were election night? Do you remember where you were, what you were drinking, what you the first thought that came into your head when they announced that Trump was president? I want to hear from you. I definitely do. Send me an email. live@jbonair.com is the email address. live@jbonair.com. And then again, so once that was announced, again, us Canadians the next day, we're just like, let's just see what happens, right? Now, I realize that this is 1 year since the inauguration. They're just telling me, you know, that it was more than a year ago that he was elected. I know, but I'm flashing back to election night when this all, like, happened. The inauguration, that's another story. Now you just got me on the inauguration. I was live tweeting. We ordered pizza. We had poutine pizza to celebrate Canada, and then we had something, I think Hawaiian, we had pizza. There was just a bunch of pizza at the office, and I remember just tweeting this and having some drinks and laughing, again, because here we go, it's all starting now, right? And so there was that brief window from November, the time of the election, to then the inauguration in January, where, you know, all of the commentators are speculating as to what's going to happen, and then we meet Sean Spicer. Oh, spicy. It was just too good. I realize that it's probably not as funny when it's your country, or when it is your country. It's not as funny when it is your country, but when it's not, it's really a good time. We are enjoying it. And as you can see, obviously the late night hosts, you know, the ratings for their shows are through the roof now because they're Trump bashing. They're making fun of him. And that's kind of the consensus, it seems, in the country. And if you're American, I'd love to hear from you on this one as well. It's funny when I make a joke on Twitter about Trump, or I just say anything, all these people will fire back and again call me a bitter Hillary supporter, and do you think Obama was better? And I just love writing back, Canadian, don't care, really, don't care, in that kind of an accent as well. Not quite a Canadian accent, but an accent nonetheless. Send me an email, live@jbonair.com. See, I'm on a roll today. There's lots to talk about, lots on my mind, lots of opinion. We're back on the Scribble right after this.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
Jeremy Bradley here on The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in at thescribbleshow.com and on SoundCloud and iTunes. Do you go to concerts these days? Do you? And when you are there, do you actually watch the concert, or are you there filming it through your phone and totally missing every moment of it? You know, a couple weeks ago I was at a concert, and I had to laugh because there was actually I guess it was a group of 4 or 5 girls that were sitting in front of us, and they were sitting, they weren't up dancing. See, this is the thing. If you get close-up seats, you're going to be dancing. And then for some reason, if you're further back, you're not. I don't know. It's just about location. And I had to laugh because it was a pretty, active show where people are, running around the stage and doing whatever. But these girls were sitting there and recording it through their phone and adjusting levels and zooming in and zooming out. And you can't see it, but I'm doing the whole zoom thing with my fingers right now like I'm touching a phone screen. And I just remember going, wow, so you've paid all this money to come to the show. You're not even going to enjoy it in the moment, but then you're going to record it on some grainy phone. Because let's be honest, yes, video is clear when you're recording it if you're up close, but in a dark setting like that and whatever, okay, you probably are going to be seeing it clear just looking, out of your eyes. And it was just fascinating to me. But then I noticed something after a concert when we were leaving. You've got people that have their windows down and then are just blasting the music from the show you were just at. And now that I think about it, it's yeah, there's always that one truck or that one car that has the music just pumping after a concert. And it's funny. So do you listen to the music that you were just at when you're leaving, or when you get home? Do you do it? Because I know it was Garth Brooks last year when I went with my dad for Father's Day, and so you're in the moment, you're singing along to the songs, you're dancing, we had 9th row seats, we were on the floor, we were up on our feet the whole time. And then when we're leaving, all these trucks and cars are passing us with Garth Brooks music blasting. And I just thought it was kind of weird at the time that, okay, we just had 2 hours or 3 hours of this, and now you're listening to the same songs again. So do you just get pumped up and revved when you're leaving a concert? Does it just make you want to go home and listen to it again and sing along? To me, it's sort of I've got my fill. I like the person. I heard all the songs just now. I don't need to hear them again. Would love to know your thoughts on this. Send an email to live@jbonair.com. live@jbonair.com.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
Jeremy Bradley here on This Scribble. I'm always fascinated by the internet, and it's not just what you can learn by Wikipedia or anything like that. Marketing is fascinating to me when you start to get all these ads. So let's say I looked at a product on Amazon or whatever it is, and then all of a sudden for the next 3 weeks I'm blasted by ads for that product or for Amazon. It's typically that product, what I was looking at. So I get what they do, right? There's that whole cookies thing. I'm not new to the internet, so I understand how it works. They've saved your search on your computer. They're going into your history now and Google or whatever it is, whatever browser, and that's how it's showing you those ads. And so it's interesting to me, though, where it'll be something totally unrelated. So I've actually become accustomed to seeing books or DVDs or whatever because I've searched for it or that's what I've looked for. But then there's the ones that I don't quite understand. It's are you looking for a Russian MILF? And I know, deep down, I have never even searched for anything remotely close to Russian MILF ever. And so it kind of makes me laugh. And there's a part of me that wants to take screenshots of these when they come up because I'm yeah, no, that wasn't me. And it's my computer. Nobody else uses it. But I don't know where you got that from. MILFs? Not really my thing. I could promise you that. I can cross my heart and guarantee you. Never done a search for MILFs on my computer. Never. So I don't know if it's just a hit or a miss kind of a thing. Like maybe it was just a random kind of a porn ad or something or whatever. But no, I've never searched for Russian MILFs. And so then I start to go and think, have I done a search for even just the word Russia? Maybe if we talked about Donald Trump or something on our show or whatever it is, maybe now I'm like grasping at straws to try to find a way that it is related or connected in some way, but I still can't. But yeah, somehow my computer often thinks that I'm looking for Russian MILFs or old, desperate housewives in the neighborhood to bang. And again, I'm sitting there going, no, still not my thing. I swear to you, still not my thing. So do you ever get any of those like weird ads that pop up where you're just thinking, and then it happens on Facebook too, where I'll get something like a voting campaign, like when there's an election, let's say in Alabama, and all of a sudden I'll get these messages to vote for congressman whatever, and I'm sitting there going, you are wasting your money then. If you didn't know how to target this ad for people in your area, then you shouldn't be first in charge of taxpayer dollars if that's something that your role is going to entail. And two, you better learn the internet and social media, because if we have something like we did for our Canada 150 broadcast, Canada Day Live, we were wanting to target Canadians from every province and territory because we were chatting with music artists. And so it would be very strange for us to target Hong Kong going, hey, celebrate Canada Day with us. Like that's something I would think that you would understand. If you're going to be paying for ads, you want to find out where they're going. And so, yeah, Congressman so-and-so from Alabama or Louisiana, wherever, I don't get why I'm seeing your ads. I'm assuming it's them, somebody from their team. I'm guessing it's not Facebook screwing it up, unless, it could be. But it's just very strange the way ads are popping up. So, I don't know. It's one thing that marketing and cookies and all that other stuff help you, or help them target you. But, yeah, sometimes it's just totally unrelated. So what's the weirdest ad you've seen? And do they work? Like, there's a part of me that sort of wants to click on the Russian MILFs and just see exactly what they have to offer. Send me an email live@jbonair.com.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
Jeremy Bradley on the Scribble. Thanks for tuning in today. The selfie. You've probably taken one. Here's the deal. If you are technologically inclined enough that you're listening to a podcast on the internet, on your cell phone, chances are you've taken a selfie. I will not buy for a fact that you have not taken a selfie. If you're tuned in and you're on iTunes or whatever it is, you've taken a selfie. So, what's interesting to me, and I believe a long time ago I've talked about this on the show. One, the people who are doing the half-naked selfies when they're in a relationship. That's something I don't get. You're wanting people to be complimenting your body. That is the purpose of a selfie. Don't disagree with me because you know I'm right. So you're taking a selfie for others to see and to comment on because you're eliciting feedback. That is the purpose of posting a selfie. You are wanting people to comment on your body or your gym progress, whatever it is, the half-naked selfie. You're wanting people to love you for your body. Great way to be taken seriously if you're single as well, too, right? I want somebody who loves me for my brain. Yeah, perfect way to show them that. And then secondly, if you're in a relationship, why does so if your partner's posting pictures of you half naked, that's one thing, but you're doing it. Okay. And then secondly, does that make your partner be creeping your social media pages and see who's responding and who's doing? Anyway, that's your relationship, never mind. The other thing about selfies, and this is what I find funny. I laugh at the people who are wearing like a necklace with a cross on it, or they've got tattoos of Jesus or something on it. Because to me, I just laugh about it. Because you think of like the church-going lifestyle, and it's not screwing around with people. It's not porn. It's not any of that kind of thing. And so, yes, God would want you to be half naked, showing off your body, and being objectified by random strangers on the internet. I don't know. To me, I just get a kick out of that. I get a kick out of it that I'm wearing a cross, that I have to keep the whole character of God and the belief of God that close to my heart, but I'm showing off something that is very sexually charged because, again, people aren't going to comment on your pretty blue eyes when you're standing half naked in a mirror. Let's be honest. I might be old and not quite into the whole social media thing, but I get it. I get why you're taking the selfie, and I get why you're showing that. So it's just funny to me, the people that are like that, or well, I'm not even going to get into it. I've seen pictures of people with, the cross and everything, and they're like doing drugs. And it's like, okay, great. Those aren't necessarily selfies, but they're just still, I don't know. It's that hypocritical thing. So, would love to know your thoughts on selfies. Email me live@jbonair.com. live@jbonair.com.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate, at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate, at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Jeremy Bradley here on The Scribble. Thanks for tuning in at thescribbleshow.com and on SoundCloud and iTunes. And yes, thank you for coming in, Basil. My dog just came into the studio here as I started the segment. So I had a discussion with somebody who is getting married, and the guest list. If you've ever been married at least once, you've probably had that dilemma of how many people are we going to have, right? And then there's the sizes of the family. So maybe your family is bigger than your partner's, and it's going to look awkward because the room is going to be 75%, 85% of people that belong to your family or your friends. And so there's that awkwardness. And secondly, you have to do that trade-off of, okay, well, I'm not inviting these friends because we've got too many people, so you can't invite this many friends or whatever it is. And then it's all about the numbers too, right? It's funny because it becomes a thing about cost, and as well it should, especially if weddings are expensive, right? So do you go all out and it's like, okay, you name everybody, you sit down, you make your guest list, and it's at 250, and then you start to whittle it down. I know that's happened too. Then it becomes like a People's Choice Awards of who are the closest people to us, and then those are the people that get invited. And then there's like the fringe friends where there's almost like a rule. If I haven't talked to them in 6 months or 3 months or whatever it is, if I can't name their kids or their partner, then they're not coming. I really did not realize that some people go through this. And so there was a situation years ago that I remembered now after having the discussion. And I guess it did bother me at the time. And I'll set the scene for you here as to what happened. So a guy that I went to school with, he and his family had just come to Canada when I was in grade 3, and we were classmates. We were a neighbor, or 2 houses down he lived. And so, technically neighbors, I guess. And so we were friends growing up, and we did everything, really. We collected cards right back when they had like X-Men cards and different superhero cards and things like that. We were doing that. And we put on plays, and when his parents got a video camera, we made stupid, goofy little movies and things. And so I don't know that I considered him my best friend. I was never one of those people that was like, you're my best friend and we're gonna be friends till the end. It wasn't a Saved by the Bell kind of a thing. And so as we got older, when during high school he went to a different school, but again still lived beside us, or right by us. And as we got older, he continued to do sports and things, and I got into writing and I got into the arts, really. So then he started to hang out with my brothers more as adults. But again, still a family friend, like would come to family birthdays and things that we did. And as we got older, and then people start to get married and have kids, and he continued playing hockey and everything with my brothers, he was getting married. And so we weren't really friends anymore. I guess we would be acquaintances at that point. So he was coming to family get-togethers, but it was my brothers who were inviting him to their kids' functions, or my brothers' weddings and things like that. And so when I heard that he was getting married, this was the really awkward thing, was that my brothers were invited, and their wives and their kids, and my parents were invited to the wedding, but I was not. And again, here's the deal, is that I wouldn't have known he was getting married unless I heard it from my parents or my brother. So I can't say that we were friends, and I can't say that we were close. And I don't even have his phone number to text him or call him, so it wasn't like we were on speaking terms. Nothing bad had happened. There was no fallout. We didn't have like some nasty breakup in the friendship. We just grew apart, I guess, as we got older. So there's that. And again, like I said, I didn't think about it at the time. Or I did think about it at the time, but I haven't. It's not like it's been eating away at me for years, but just having this discussion about guest lists. So then I was kind of wondering, well, maybe I just wasn't invited because there were too many people. But at the same time, I would have been I would have been one person. I wouldn't have gone with anybody. I just wouldn't have. I didn't have anything going for myself at the time. Oh, that's so depressing. But yet my parents were invited. So I really don't know. So there was a part of me for a little while that wanted me to I wanted to ask and just say, like, why didn't you invite me to your wedding? Like, I don't quite... But it's just an awkward conversation. And he's been married now for years, so it's sort of water under the bridge, I guess. It's a forgotten about thing. But you got to wonder, you're making the guest list. You knew that there were 5 of us in the family, my 2 brothers, my 2 parents, and me. So you invite the 4 of them, but yet me, who was your good friend, we went to school from grade 3 to 9 together. Yeah, I'm not your hockey buddy, and I don't have kids, so we're not chatting about that, or we're not hanging out with that, but I don't know. And then it was just awkward, because then at the next get-togethers that he was at with our family, so my brothers, like my nephew's birthdays and things like that, he would strike up conversation and ask me things and talk about things, but again, there was just I felt like a distance in between us. And he probably didn't, because again, he wouldn't have felt the awkwardness just because he hasn't seen me or had like social conversation with me in a long time. But it was just very awkward. It was strange. I didn't get it. And it's going to be something that I'll probably never know the answer to. I mean, I think I do know the answer, is that, we don't talk, I don't hang out, I don't see you, you don't know the names of my kids, so why would I have you at my wedding? But the bottom line is, do you still invite somebody if you haven't had interactions with them? Will I talk to him if I see him in public? Do I know his wife's name? Yeah. Do I know his kids' names? I think I do. But I don't know. It's just strange. Tell me what you think about that. Would you feel that you should get an obligatory wedding invite if the rest of your family does? And this was somebody who was your friend back in the day. Send me an email, live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not losing sleep over it, but it certainly does make you wonder what a person thinks of you. And why didn't I get invited to the wedding? Did it bother me? No. A little bit at the time, I guess. Does it now? No. live@jbonair.com.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
Jeremy Bradley here on the Scribble. I want to talk porn for a second. Never thought in my broadcast career would I open a segment with that. Obviously, we know there's a lot of porn on the internet. Duh. We've seen it. We've stumbled across it, I think is what we say, right? I don't know how those pictures got saved on my computer. I don't know. But I find it interesting that there are people, and there's communities of porn followers, let's say, on social media. And it's the same thing with people who are like fitness models, and the people are following them just because of their body. Maybe they have the playful personality that keeps people coming back for more, but I don't know. So I find it very interesting when people discuss porn as though it's like actual videos. And what I mean by that is, and I'm going to make up a name, so Bob Smith. Oh, I love that scene with Bob Smith and Jim Brown, and it's the best one ever. And that's great that they legitimize the people as actors. We know they're not necessarily known for their acting skills, or at least reading lines convincingly. And so it's interesting when people, like, there's that whole other subculture of, there's awards for it, and it's the best this or the best that or the hottest whatever. And it's very odd to me. So on social media, there's a couple like porn-ish type people that follow me, but I think that some people just follow me because I'm a media personality and I have an audience or whatever it might be. But I don't know anything about them. Like I might know a couple names, but the only one that I knew growing up was Ron Jeremy, and that's just because his last name is my first name, right? And so sometimes that would trigger people to be like, "Oh, Ron Jeremy," and it's like, and I didn't get it until I find out who that was, of course. But it just so let's use him as an example then. Ron Jeremy, him talking about the movie that he was in or the scene with so and so, and it's like, wow, you actually take it seriously as though these names, like, they mean something to you. And I don't know, I don't get it. It would be like saying that you love Brad Pitt and you follow every Brad Pitt movie and every scene and every co-star and everything like that, but you do it with porn. And I never thought that people would watch porn for more than the 3 or 4 minutes that it takes. Because a porno is, I'm going to have to find out now. It's not like a feature-length film. It's not like an hour or 2 hours, is it? No, because, well, really, aren't you just fast-forwarding to the part where it gets to like what your thing is and what you want to see? This is probably not what you were expecting, but I opened by saying we're going to talk porn, and now here I'm just stumbling to, I don't want to be dirty, that's my thing. Yes, I realize there's no rules here in terms of language or what have you on the podcast, but I still just don't talk about stuff like that. So maybe we'll get a porn star on the show one week, and I'll ask all of these questions and have some awkwardness. There you go. That's what we'll do. So do you know any porn star names, and do you follow their comings and goings, apparently? Email me live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter @The Scribble Show and @thescribbleshow.com.
Thank you very much, Larson. Wow. Sorry, I've been on this rant for, what is it, like 27 minutes now, and didn't have a time to take a break. And that Twitter promo is just too short. We need to get Larson to say a little bit more for that one, because I also just spilled water all over myself. Oh, dear. It's the Screen Actors Guild Awards, because Hollywood is just not done patting itself on the back. The SAG Awards are handed out Sunday night, so if you're listening to this podcast before the SAG Awards are handed out Sunday night, follow along with my live tweets @Jeremy D. Bradley, @Jeremy D. Bradley, and of course, because Bachelor is in full swing, and I loves me a good slut-shaming on The Bachelor and Bachelorette, I'm live tweeting that as well every Monday night. Again, @Jeremy D. Bradley. It's interesting to, see these shows in their 20-something season or whatever it is, and how the audiences are now, they already know the casting, they already know the plot and the scandal and the twists they're going to come. You know that somebody's going to threaten to leave and storm out just so they can get his attention. You know there's going to be somebody from the past who shows up to cause chaos. You know there's going to be, an injury. You know there's going to be that helicopter ride somewhere. Like, it's become really predictable. And so what I enjoy most about Bachelor Nation, and I should tell you, when I saw somebody tweet a picture of their TV on 2 milk crates and they were watching the show, I just thought, yeah, that's a fair representation of Bachelor Nation, I must say. So I certainly don't take the show too seriously, and it's funny also too when people fire back at me and say, well, if you hate the show so much, why do you tweet about it? Why do you talk about it? Here's the deal, I'm going to level with you. 'Cause I'm paid to, bitch. That's why. And I love having a laugh. Again, I don't think, you can't tell me, it's a very small percentage of people that are actually watching that show to see a love connection. I swear to you, people are not tuned in to see a love connection. They're not, and even the people going on the show are not there to find a love connection. I'd love to tell you more about this Monday night on Twitter @Jeremy D. Bradley. Again, those SAG Awards, I'll be live tweeting Sunday night as well. Feel free to give me a shout. It's always awesome hearing from you. My email address, live@jbonair.com, live@jbonair.com. Remember, you can subscribe on iTunes and SoundCloud. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Have a great week. Happy Inauguration Day anniversary, Americans. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat,